This episode is brought to you by the Ultimate Girls Trip. Here is our reoccurring daydream. Us at a drool-worthy pool, surrounded by our business besties. We just finished a powerful exercise on building our dream lives and executing our business goals. Join us if you are ready to be celebrated for taking up space, to feel purposeful, and to live a life of fulfillment. Go to proofitspossible.com for more info. Welcome to Proof It's Possible. Jamie and I are multifaceted entrepreneurs, the founders of the Ultimate Girls Trip, and the hosts of Proof It's Possible. Jamie and I are also sisters, best friends, and complete opposites, but somehow we always manage to stay on the same team. Join us every week to hear our thoughts on all things entrepreneurship, friendship, family, pop culture, and more. Hi, and welcome back to Proof It's Possible. We are so happy that you guys are here. Today, we are chatting about something that is actually a concept that Jay and I made up when we were teenagers, and it is called the Nicest of the Uglies. And so this came up like organically for me last week. I was trying to describe something, and basically what it means is it means that you are picking the best of the worst. So it originally started, I feel like, with shoe shopping. Is that right?
I have no idea. I have no idea the origin of how
That's the origin.
that
We went like
used to be.
specific shoe shopping for like your grad shoes, or when you have
I feel
something.
like this happened long before I graduated.
Yeah, maybe. But when you're shopping for something so specific that you're like, I only want this one thing. And
Yes.
you're only going to leave the mall when you have that one thing. That's where
Mhm.
the Nicest of the Uglies was born, was because we looked and we looked. And by the end of the day, your like standards get lower and lower and lower. And then next thing you know, you're basically just picking the nicest of all the ugly choices. And it's not what you wanted, but every store that didn't have what you wanted, you slowly let yourself like let go of
Open up your
your
mind to
dream.
the ugly
Yeah,
choices.
exactly. And
Let
like
your
sometimes in
dreams
life,
slip through your fingers.
exactly. And sometimes in life, you have to do that. And definitely sometimes in business, like things aren't perfect. But at the same time, there's important times where you need to stick to what you actually wanted in the beginning and not lose track of it. Do
Hmm.
you feel like there's a time and a place that you're willing to bend versus stick with it? When do you
Oh,
choose the nicest of the uglies
a
or not?
thousand percent. A thousand percent. I feel like just in my own personal style, the COVID years
Yeah,
can be described as the nicest of the uglies. Like, don't you feel
absolutely.
like all of a
Yes.
sudden you're in sweatsuits
Oh,
constantly? You know, like you're just
constantly.
constantly, and you're like, well, what sweatsuit should I pick for today? And like, if that's what
Mhm.
you're naturally drawn to and that's your natural style, totally fine, carry on.
Totally
But
fine.
that's not my
Yeah.
natural style. So like,
Mhm.
after a few years of like not buying anything but leisure wear, I looked in my closet and I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'm selecting the nicest of the uglies here. Like, I don't. None of this is calling my name. None of
Exactly.
anything I've bought over the last 4 years is not welcome
Yes.
in
And
my
then when the
wardrobe
world
anymore.
like opened back up, I ended up out in public and I'm like, what am I wearing? This
Same.
doesn't even remotely reflect who I used to be. This is
Mm-hmm.
bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
So that, and then in my business, I feel like I have to do that all the time. Like, I mean,
Me
nicest
too.
of the uglies is not necessarily the right word choice because it's not like my work isn't either nice or ugly, but
No,
it's like
exactly. But it's just a concept.
every
Yeah.
day when I have like, I've left all of the terrible tasks till the end. And the only thing on my list is things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm selecting what should I do first today, it's the nicest of the uglies. It's like, what is the best of the worst choices here?
Totally.
You know, I
For
feel like
sure.
that quite often. Or like,
In
I mean, I just did my business insurance renewal this morning and I thought to
Mhm.
myself, this is the nicest of the uglies. Like,
Yeah,
there's no like
absolutely.
glamorous good option when it comes to business insurance. It's like, would you like to get, would you like
This
to
bad
pay
deal
too
or
much
that bad
premiums for
deal.
not enough service or too much premiums for
Yeah,
not enough
exactly.
service? Which company would you like to put your money towards?
For sure. And it's just an act of compromise. Like I think that when it comes to like picking what tasks you're going to work on, I always try to do the thing that I can actually get done and feel good about completing. Like that's my like how I choose it. Or sometimes if they're just all stuff that's ongoing and like long term and I'm not going to finish anything, I pick the path of least resistance to like give
Oh,
myself at least a baby win. I need the baby win on the nicest of the uglies. Like I need to, but I also have gone down a road so far where I'm like, what's happening? Why do I do this job even? I don't like this one. Like,
oh yeah.
because I'm the queen of like being like, I can offer that service. I love, this or that. And then that can lead to this, which can lead to that, which can lead to this. And the next thing you know, I'm like, how did I get here? But it was too many nicest of the uglies versus
Mm-hmm.
holding firm for the thing that I genuinely wanted, like, and you
Mm-hmm.
just end up doing something where you're like, I don't even, this isn't even on my list of things I wanted to do. So
Mm-hmm.
how is it possible that I did this? And I think we've all been there. Like whether it's a job you took or it's a business you ended up in with a partner you didn't really, you know, even need necessarily, but you like took on and because you're like in the moment it felt right. It felt like someone could help you or they could do something for you that you couldn't do for yourself, whatever it looks like, you ended up there as a result of choosing the nicest of the uglies,
And I
you
feel
know?
like it can happen in every decision we make. Like you can go to the grocery store
Yes.
and be like, "Oh, I don't want to spend more than, $10 on the box of cereal I'm gonna get." So then all of a sudden, like all organic choices are out, and you're only looking at like junk
Yes.
cereals. And next thing you know, you're picking from like the crappiest because of budget, let's say, like because you're
Exactly.
trying to stick within a budget. But the same thing can happen for like, for instance, that somebody reached out and said that they went to like what they thought was going to be like an entrepreneurial girls retreat.
Right?
They liked the price point, they liked how close it was to their house, but it wasn't what they wanted. But it matched their budget and it matched their like travel
Mhm.
criteria, and but they settled for it. So like to
Totally.
me, the nicest of the uglies is a lot of like, you're calling it compromise. I often think of it as like settling, like,
Oh,
because
totally.
you almost always regret it. Like you get your ugly shoes home and you're like, what have I done?
Yeah,
Why did I buy these?
absolutely.
And then you're still coveting the
Totally.
shoes that you actually went
Mhm.
shopping for, and you're still looking for that,
Mhm.
the girls' trip that you actually wanted to go on
On
but
it.
didn't
Yes.
splurge on, or you're still looking for the like thing in your business that like actually brings you joy. You've
Yes.
settled on making money doing X, Y, and Z. You actually hate X, Y, and Z, and you're still looking for that like ideal client to like
Mhm.
offer you the work that does light you up. So I think that oftentimes when we're selecting the nicest of the uglies, it never ends well because you still want the nicer item, but you've
Of
settled
course. You
and you've
didn't
wasted
scratch the
time,
itch.
money, energy
Yes,
on the ugly.
totally. And like for instance, virtual assistants. So you can hire one from overseas and get them for a significantly better price point than if you hire somebody
Mm-hmm.
that lives in your city or lives in your community or whatever. And that's the beautiful thing about a virtual is they don't have to live near you. And there's different jobs and different tasks that require different things. But if one of the things that you require is to be on the same time zone because you'd like them to work while you're working and be in communication with you while you're awake and they're awake at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
hiring somebody on the other side of the world is not going to be the right choice. And how often do you feel like money is the reason, cost is the reason to choose the nicest of the uglies? Like I think a lot of us are scared of certain things. So like for me, when it comes to like shoes, I'm willing to spend a decent amount of money on my shoes. So I don't necessarily think that that's where I would be like, oh, I'll get the uglier pair because they're only $50, even though they don't match any of the criteria I had set out. Um, but when it comes to like bigger ticket items, like hiring somebody, I'm like, do I want $3,000 a
Mm-hmm.
month or do I want $500 a month?
Mm-hmm.
And the 500 feels better. So it's like you want to go down the road of the more affordable option to find out that. And then when it doesn't work out, I literally look at myself in the mirror and you're like, you got what you paid for.
Of
You got
course.
what you paid for. It wasn't what you
Mm-hmm.
needed. It wasn't what you
Mm-hmm.
wanted. It
No, and
wasn't what
now you've wasted time. You've wasted
time.
money, like trying to train the person to be the
Of
person you want
course.
them to be, even though you knew they
Yep.
weren't going to be. You've wasted
Exactly.
energy finding
Hmm.
this person. You've wasted resources. Like it's just,
Yep.
yeah, it comes with regret.
Comes with regret every time. You
100%.
get the shoes home, you put them on with the dress, and you still don't have shoes to wear. You
Mm-hmm.
still
And now
don't
you're
have the virtual assistant,
right.
but you
Yes.
spent some money on route. You went to the event that wasn't the event you wanted to go to, and you ended up still not getting the like community of girlfriends or the connections or whatever it is that you were there to get, and you
Yeah.
spent the money anyway. And now you're still going to do the big thing, very likely, like the more expensive thing, but
Absolutely.
you've also spent an additional $500 just throwing spaghetti at the wall trying to see what sticks.
Absolutely.
So,
And I often, like in my the safety business, I often clean up somebody's nicest of the uglies. Like I'll get hired
mhm,
and they'll be like, I hired this person. They didn't have
yes.
education. They were our, just
They weren't certified. They weren't
our,
this.
our
They weren't, yeah,
receptionist. And I thought
yeah,
she could write our safety program for us, but I paid her to do it. And now it's not meeting criteria and we can't get our core, whatever their thing is that
yeah.
they're trying to achieve. And then it's like they've hired me and they're already bitter. They're already mad because they've already paid someone to do this. And they're hoping, someone's going to come in and save the day, but they also don't want to pay you because they've already paid someone. And they also have trust issues because they trusted someone. So I'm just here to say that on the flip side of it, just save your money until you can buy the nice shoes. Save your money until you can hire the virtual assistant that fits your criteria.
Exactly.
Save your money and your time and your energy for the job that you're trying to hire for.
Or
Like,
take the leap of faith and hope that the money flows to you. Like live in abundance where
mhm,
you're like, you know what? If I get the virtual assistant, my business will thrive because I have more opportunity to do the things that will bring in more revenue, customers, whatever it looks like. My business is
absolutely.
very much the same where I can often be hired as the cleanup crew.
Hmm.
And the cleanup crew for an interior design project is outrageously expensive usually because you've already paid somebody to paint, but you hate the color. You've already paid somebody to give you the design plan and executed some of it. Or if you haven't actually hired an interior designer that just didn't work out, what ends up happening is the person goes it on their own and they're like, I'm going to do this. I can pick my own couch, my own art, my own, and they buy all this stuff, custom order, can't be returned, get it in the house, look around, and they're like, this looks nothing like what I wanted. Didn't hit the mark at all. And what I think is always interesting and challenging for me, it's way more work for me to be like, okay, how do we make the nicest of the uglies work? Because nobody wants to throw away their brand new sofa. Like, so now I've got a whole house or a whole room full of the nicest of the uglies because
Hmm.
the brand new sofa they really wanted was 5,000 at Restoration Hardware. They ended up at discount count Bob's on, you know,
Hmm.
in the industrial park. They was comfortable. And that was the one criteria marker that it
And
gave
now
them, but
they
didn't
and
give
now they
them.
have a reclining sofa.
Yeah, exactly. Public service announcement, please stop buying reclining sofas. For all to hear. Polarizing, cancel me, whatever you need to say, whatever you got to do to
Yikes!
me.
Those are fighting.
But
Those are fighting
fighting
words.
words. Let's
Wow. I
put
didn't
a
know you
let's
were
put a
planning to get
pin in
canceled,
it.
sis, but
Yeah,
here we are. Literally.
exactly. I did not come on this podcast to get canceled, but guys, just the reclining sofa's got to go. I don't know. I can't say any more words about it.
Yeah. So I just think that like my advice when you're in a business situation, that's the nicest of the uglies. You're in a personal situation, that's the nicest of the uglies. A personal style situation, which is the nicest of the uglies, where this whole concept was birthed. Whatever it is, either splurge on the thing that you actually want, save up for the thing that you actually want, or take the leap of faith for the thing that you actually want and trust that the universe is going to catch your fall, or whatever it looks like for you. Because it's not worth the time, energy, and resources to do everything twice. If I have a pet peeve in this world, it's having to do something twice. Because I didn't do it properly the first time.
Yeah, my motto since I began interior design was do it once and do it right. And it's because it's too expensive to do it multiple times. You do not want to renovate your home 3 times to get it right. So the extras along the way sometimes make for a home that you'll never renovate again. You'll live in it for 20 years and be happy, or you'll just need a paint change. You won't need an everything change. And I also think stand firm in what you know you want and you think you deserve, and you want, that's who you are on the inside. So listen to that. Like, don't always be willing to bend. Like, it's a good quality to like be flexible and pivot and all the things. But sometimes if you know you're really wanting a particular thing or outcome, or you have like a specific dream or goal, stick with it. Like, stop abandoning it the minute you're like, okay, this is $500 more than I want to spend. Or, I know that I can't wear black shoes with the dress, but they're $50 cheaper, so I'm going to buy the black shoes instead. Like, wait for the thing that is actually right for you.
Absolutely.
Have a great day. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'd love to hear your nicest of the uglies stories. They're some of our faves. We are so grateful you're here.
It would mean the world to us if you'll subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel and leave us a review.
If you want to hear more from us, go to proofitspossible.com to join our mailing list and find our social links so you don't miss a thing.
Thanks, and chat next time.